What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at how some hackers ruined King Vamps aka Playboi Carti's first Narcissist merch drop all the way back in September of 2021. Now, in addition to seeing the story behind this merch drop, we'll also be reviewing some of these now legendary pieces, so I hope you guys enjoy this one. And before we get started, I wanted to give a special shout out to the homie Strain Beats, who's been curating and cooking the beats for my videos, which I'm super thankful for, so make sure you guys give him a follow. And while you're here, you might as well drop a like and subscribe and join our free Discord to stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. We recently passed over 100 chefs in there, which I'm super happy about. Now, like I mentioned, today's video starts us off in September of 2021 for a very unexpected Narcissist merch collection. And right off the bat, I wanted to point out the difference between the Narcissist merch that we've been seeing recently and the logo that we saw in use all the way back in 2021. And it's right off the bat to start this collection, we've got this very random motorcycle helmet, which definitely sets the tone for this one. Now, if you're not already wondering why and feeling this one feels out of place, I want you to direct your attention at the retail cost for this one. And no, your eyes are definitely not deceiving you right now. The retail price for that motorcycle helmet was listed for a cool $5,000. And while I may have been looking at the $5,000 price tag and thinking to myself, boy, ain't no way, it wasn't hard to actually find some invoices from some loyal fans that ended up copying them. And while I was doing some research for this one, I actually came across this photo, which is apparently Carti himself modeling this Narcissist motorcycle helmet, and he also posted this photo right here on his Opium Finstagram at one point, which is basically the main way he's been communicating with his fans over the last year to year and a half or so. And like I just mentioned with the Narcissist motorcycle helmet, I feel like it definitely set the tone for the rest of this supposed collection. Next up, we had these $75 racing gloves, which I think are cool, but I don't know if I would have picked up myself. And following that up, we've got this Narcissist motorcycle long sleeve for $160. Now, I don't know about the material on this one, and I of course wasn't able to find a whole lot of information, but what I know from my actual experience working with this type of racing apparel and material, the material tends to be more breathable if you can picture something like that, so I think that the price might be just a little bit more justified if it's that actual type of material. Now, while fans like myself were looking at this collection and kind of scratching our heads trying to figure out the inspiration for the whole racing theme, some fans were actually able to uncover a little bit more devious information when it came to this merch drop. Now, some of these pieces might seem a little bit low effort to you, but I didn't know that they were actually this low effort. And what I mean by that is that you were able to see just how low effort and lazy the designs were compared to the wholesale and stock prices that some fans were able to find. For example, Playboi Carti was charging $40 for this shiesty balaclava mask, and fans were able to find the same one for 45 cents on the website Alibaba, with absolutely no changes or updates being made to the actual stock mask. And although Playboi Carti would later go on to tweet that his website was hacked and that this Narcissist drop wasn't supposed to happen, I find it interesting that I was able to come across all of these photos of his label mates wearing the merch. For example, the photos that we're looking at right now feature none other than destroylonely, who signed to his Opium label, and who I also hope to hear featured on his upcoming album I Am Music alongside Opium label mate Kencarson. And if you also feel like they're long overdue for a song, let me know in the comments. Now, in addition to that tank top and long sleeve, we also have this little Narcissist hoodie for $115, as well as this bomber jacket for a cool $200. And while I didn't pick it up in the moment when this initially dropped, I remember thinking to myself that it was actually a pretty clean pickup. And it wasn't until I again came across some information from another Carti fan who actually tracked down the same exact stock bomber jacket that was used that I was reminded just how lazy and low effort this actual Narcissist collection was. And to help reiterate my point in terms of the laziness, this is the exact same stock bomber jacket that was used, and you can see the same exact wrinkles that were used in the photo on the website as well. They essentially didn't change anything but slapped a Narcissist logo on the front and back, and it just shows you how little effort and thought was put into some of these pieces. Now we'll see here in just a moment how Playboi Carti claims that this whole website was hacked and that again the merch drop wasn't supposed to happen. However, I feel like it wouldn't make up for the fact that we just saw Uzi modeling that same Narcissist bomber jacket, as well as this photo of both Carti and Uzi modeling some Narcissist pieces while both entering the club together. And speaking of Uzi, I'm still holding out hope that one day we'll get to see the two tour and that they'll eventually drop that duo mixtape called 1629. Now to wrap up the rest of this Narcissist merch drop, we of course had these racing jackets, which were honestly pretty popular when I was around middle school age or so, and again play into the whole racing theme that we've seen throughout the rest of this entire Narcissist collection. And perhaps the most exciting thing from this fake Narcissist drop at the time was this information about a digital download for the upcoming album. And although the theme of this collection didn't make sense to me, I figured it was all part of the plan. However, things started to get weird when Playboi Carti either the day of or the following morning took to Twitter with the following screenshot, where he went on to mention that the website was hacked and that he never approved of any of the merch or designs. And things also got a little weird when his manager tweeted that the site was malfunctioning and to stand by on the date of the release. Now, in my opinion, what ended up happening is that Carti and his team ended up putting out that statement that none of these pieces were approved after facing the backlash from the public. A lot of people were not happy that so many of these pieces were generic, and they were also clowning him for the $5,000 motorcycle helmet, because I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if that was ultimately what happened and if they were just not happy with the public's backlash. Because there are too many photos that I found online of members of Opium actually wearing the merch, and if Carti himself claims to have not approved it and doesn't mess with it, then why would they have produced it and handed it out in the first place, if you get what I'm putting down here. And in addition to this allegedly fake Narcissist merch drop, I also wanted to feature some of my favorite pieces that were released featuring this new black metal logo. I know that this design is not for everyone, but as someone who grew up in that aesthetic and I point it out in every video, I personally think it's super hard and I love the overlap between metal and hip hop that we've been seeing. And it was then about a year later in October of 2022 that Playboi Carti would debut his brand new Narcissist merch collection, as you guys can see here, through his Opium label. And given the negative feedback that he got surrounding the first Narcissist merch collection, I think it was a smart move to name this one the same and basically erase the history. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about the controversy surrounding some of those pieces involving the stories behind those mugshots, I made a video that I'll go ahead and include in the comments. And if you made it this far in the video, I'd love to know what you guys think about this drop and my theory in the comments. I think that ultimately he ended up scrapping the first Narcissist drop and rebranding after the negative feedback and people finding out just how lazy and low effort the pieces were. Now with that being said, unfortunately we still don't have the new album, but I do hope I'll be reporting on it by the end of the month. And if you're still super hyped for this one, let us know in the comments. Now as always, thank you guys for sticking around and cooking with the kitchen. Remember to stay safe out there and remember, it's lit. Straight up! And peace. And don't forget to join the free Discord.